100 for 100 podcast, where we take 100 movies for all you new movie watchers out there and movie watching land, man. If you're serious about getting into watching film, man, I took 100 movies that I think everyone you should watch at least once to have a solid celluloid foundation. 35 millimeter or 70 millimeter nitrate bedrock for you to build your movie watching career off of. It all starts here with this 100, and I ranked them from 100 to 1 for you. I did it for you. Each one of them comes equipped with a 100-word review and a podcast for every single one of these. One a day for the first 100 days, 2020. Had I known the first 100 days of 2020 would be absolute madness, I might have thought against doing this whole thing altogether, because madness is exactly what it has been, both the year and this list. Yesterday, we talked about number 10. We're in the top 10, y'all. We are almost done. If this is your first one, look, you got a lot of catching up to do. But yesterday, we talked about our number 10. We started the kickoff for our final 10 with 12 Angry Men, all right, the Sidney Lumet joint. If you've never seen this movie, do yourself all the favors and go watch it. If you didn't listen to that podcast yesterday, I highly suggest you go back and you listen to that podcast as soon as you get done listening to this podcast. But today we continue our top 10 kick with number 9, 1973, directed by William Friedkin, and it is The Exorcist, William Peter Blatty's Exorcist. Let's get into this 100-word review, shall we? The supernatural film by which every other one is judged. The Exorcist follows a demonic possession of a young girl and two priests' attempts to extract it. Fresh off the French Connection, Friedkin is in full command, using tension, jump scares, and sound to elicit the appropriate response from viewers. A film that initially shook audiences to their core and continues to do so. It assaults the senses and dozes out dread, terror, and hopelessness. The combination of great acting, Friedkin's direction, and the moody atmospheric tones set by classical compositions make this one of the scariest films ever released. This movie, oh boy, this movie is a good old bit of wild business. This movie's got a couple of heavy hitters in there. Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, rest in peace to him. He just passed about, 2 weeks ago? A week ago? I don't know. March was 3 years long. Lee J. Cobb is in this movie, and if that name sounds familiar, that's because he was in yesterday's movie. We talked about 12 Angry Men. He is the last one in 12 Angry Men to vote not guilty. Well, he's much less of a dick in this film. Of course, you can't talk about The Exorcist without talking about Linda Blair putting in all the work on this movie. You rest an entire film on the shoulders of a child. What was she, like maybe 11 years old? Something like that around this time, and you put an entire movie on her shoulders. That's balls on Friedkin's part to try to adapt William Peter Blatty's joint and letting the whole thing ride on Linda Blair, who, by all reports is incredibly mature for her age at this time. When most people think about The Exorcist, they think about that scene, the walking backwards down the steps, which, if memory serves, is not in the original. But when they did the re-release, they put it back out in theaters. They put that in there, and that's real, people. That's not special effects. Someone actually did that, which makes it all the more creepy for me. But there's so much other stuff that goes down in this movie besides just the walk down the steps, man. The shit kicks off with the Regan peeing on the floor during a little dinner party there. You're all gonna die, or you're gonna die up there. I think that's what she says to the astronaut dude. Your mother sucks cocks in hell and all that kind of good stuff. And she's stabbing her lady parts, her lady bits, her soft bits with the cross. I would like to see had the young girl from Poltergeist lived and not been taken by that unfortunate bit of business, I would like to see a side-by-side comparison between her and Linda Blair for who was most fucked up after making these movies. We can't, not talk about what I think is one of the most gorgeous shots in film. The shot of Max von Sydow, I think it is. Yeah, stepping out of the cab for the first time, bathed in light at the bottom of those stairs, and he looks up. It's what you see on the poster. When most people have like that image of the Exorcist, it's either going to be that or her crawling down the steps backwards or something like that. But those stairs in particular, fuck Joker. All right, this is the movie that made a set of stairs iconic. All you young cats out there, don't let the Joker fool you. Exorcist did it first, man. This movie did for horror what I think 2001 did for sci-fi. Like, this kicked off a whole new genre. I mean, possession movies have been done before, but this is the one that legitimized it, right? To the point where Exorcist is the first horror film ever nominated for Best Picture, right? That's how good this movie is. That's how scary this movie is. Themes of, a priest that loses faith. I mean, that's a bit more commonplace now than it was back then. I don't think without The Exorcist, you wouldn't get something like Salem's Lot, right? Where you get Father Callahan that loses his faith. There's so much good shit to be mined from this movie. It's why I put it so high on the list, man. Do yourself a favor and check out number 9 on this list, The Exorcist.